Hello, friends. Al Iverson here. It's time for another episode of your email authentication and deliverability questions answered. The question I'm going to answer today is, what do you do if your BIMI logo turns black? Let me explain. Let's start with the basics. What is BIMI? BIMI is the logo standard for emails. It's called Brand Indicators for Message Identification. And a BIMI logo, when you set up the actual file with your logo image in it, it uses an SVG format, Scalable Vector Graphics, and it uses a special version of SVG called TinyPS. The way most people set this up is they export their graphic logo from Illustrator or Inkscape, save it as SVG, then they use a BIMI logo converter app to adjust the SVG so that it matches BIMI specifications. SVG and the TinyPS version of it used by BIMI have some limitations. One of the most important things that I think I see people get wrong most often is bitmaps. You can't have bitmaps inside of your SVG. The SVG spec allows it, but the BIMI spec does not. There are also some other limitations that commonly trip people up. You can't have animations or gradients. Supposedly some sort of transparencies are supposed to work. I always have trouble with that, though. I really would try to avoid transparencies in BIMI logos. You've got to convert all text to paths. The BIMI logo spec, the SVG format, doesn't have a way for you to load external fonts in there. And most importantly, this is something that I have to correct for people when I help them set up their BIMI logo. All CSS must be inline, meaning you can't have sort of a style section at the top, nor can you call external links to CSS templates or styles in your BIMI SVG file. So here's an example, just a cute little logo that is very similar to one that an actual client of ours gave to us and said, hey, we want to use this for our BIMI logo. Just a white little bar on a blue little background with a word mark in it. Easy stuff. So they exported this from Adobe Illustrator, saved it as an SVG file. Looks good there. So now we take this tool from the BIMI Group website, and this is what I use to convert an SVG from Illustrator into the right format for BIMI use, and that's the Mac OS version of the BIMI conversion tool there, the SVG converter. So I open the file in SVG converter. I set the title because BIMI SVG has to have a title field, easily done there. Click on generate, and it saves a new SVG file for me with TinyPS appended to the name. And so I've opened my updated SVG, the TinyPS version. I did that by dragging it to Chrome. That's a good way to show an SVG file on the computer when you want to display it. Unfortunately, as you can see here, my fancy SVG logo is now just a big black blob. And that is because of clumsy stripping out of the colors. The CSS, the class information, is not allowed in the spec in the way that it was originally set up in the SVG file. So when we strip that out, everything just turned all black. Thankfully, that's easy to fix. The cool thing about SVGs is they are just text files, a set of instructions that tell you how to draw the different shapes, the paths, the rectangles, etc., that comprise the logo. So it's almost human readable. You can open it up in a text editor and clean stuff up. And that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to open the original SVG. I'm going to find the necessary color, the color blue, the specific color blue, copy that from the old version of the SVG file and paste it into the right place as an inline fill in the updated SVG logo for BIMI. So here's the original file. Look at the style information there in the header. I can see that fill, there's the color I need, 1701C9. Copy that and switch over to the updated logo. It's very similar. It's the same file, right? We can switch back and forth here, but you'll see the style information is gone. That rectangle now has lost its class, and so we need to update it with an inline fill with that 1701C9 color. So I just did fill equals hashmark 1701C9. That's how you specify color in HTML and CSS, and away we go. And so now let's look at what that does. And oh, we're almost there. We've got the blue, but we've still got some black there that we need to fix. And so to fix that, that's easy. I know that's supposed to be white. We know that white is just FFF. and or it's supposed to be 6Fs, but people put 3 in there, and that's good enough. And so I just looked at the other paths, these other shapes that are defined in the SVG BIMI logo file, and I added fill equals hashmark FFF to all of those and save it. And now we've got a logo resurrected. The colors are correct. It's in the tiny PS SVG format, and it does what we need it to do now. So wrapping that all up, remember what I did here. Editing SVG is a lot like editing HTML or code. Don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. Edit, test, iterate. Go through and learn a little bit about it along the way. It's a lot of fun to do. This is something that I didn't inherently have knowledge of before, but it turned out not to be hard, right? If you know HTML, you know colors, you can copy and paste stuff out of there. If you know a little bit of CSS, just enough to be dangerous, have fun with it. And that's everything for today. Thanks so much for watching. I'd love your feedback. Feel free to drop me an email at al.iverson@ballamail.com. And don't forget to visit our website at ballamail.com when you're ready to embark upon your DMARC journey.